All right, welcome to the Explainer. Every time you click, download, or log in, you're basically opening a door. Today, we're going to talk about who's trying to sneak through those doors and how they do it, so you can stay one step ahead.
So, let's just jump right in. To really get a handle on the threats we're all facing online, you've got to start with this simple question. Who's behind them? Because these aren't just random computer glitches. They're driven by real people with very real goals.
Yeah, this isn't some faceless robotic enemy. We're talking about distinct groups of people, and each one has their own reasons for doing what they do. Let's kind of meet the usual suspects.
And you can see here, the range is, well, it's huge. You've got everything from the script kiddie, basically an amateur causing chaos with tools they downloaded, all the way up to politically motivated hacktivists. Then you get into the big leagues, organized crime syndicates that are in this for the money, and even nation-states playing games of digital espionage.
Okay, so now we have an idea of who is out there, but what's their number one weapon? You might think it's some super complex piece of code, but nope, it's us. It's targeting people. This is where cybersecurity gets really personal.
And this right here, social engineering, this is pretty much the attacker's master key. See, it's so effective because it doesn't bother trying to break through a firewall. It breaks through us. It plays on our basic human nature, our trust, our fear, our desire to be helpful. It turns the user into the security hole.
And just look at how they do it. These principles are like psychological cheat codes. They're designed to bypass your thinking brain and get you to just react. Have you ever got that email that says, your account is locked, click here immediately to fix it? That's it right there. That's urgency and authority, all rolled into one to make you panic and click before you even think.
And the most common way they use these tricks is phishing. Now, I know we've all seen these emails, but we are way beyond the old Prince needs your help scam. Modern phishing attacks can be unbelievably convincing.
And look at how this one attack has evolved. It's not just one thing anymore. You start with basic phishing, which is kind of like casting a huge net and seeing what you catch. Then it gets personal with spear phishing, where they target you specifically, using your name, your job. Whaling goes after the big fish, the CEOs. And now it's jumped from email to your phone with vishing, voice calls, and smishing, those sketchy text messages. It all feels so much more urgent now, doesn't it?
So, once they've tricked you into taking the bait, that's when they unleash their actual weapons. We're talking about malware. This is the nasty code that does the real damage. Let's start with two of the classics. A virus and a worm. Here's the key difference. A virus is like a parasite. It has to latch onto a host file, and it needs you to run that file for it to spread. But a worm is independent. Once it gets onto a network, it can copy and spread all by itself, which is what makes worms so incredibly fast and dangerous. And the attacker's toolkit just gets bigger. A keylogger will silently record every single thing you type. Passwords, private messages, you name it. Spyware just watches your every move. A Trojan horse tricks you into inviting the enemy right in, disguised as some useful program. And a botnet can turn your computer into a zombie, a soldier in a vast digital army, all without you ever knowing it.
And then there's ransomware. This has become the go-to moneymaker for organized crime, and it's easy to see why. It's a straight-up digital shakedown. They lock up your precious files, hold them hostage, and demand a payout. It's a devastatingly effective business model for criminals.
So, we know who the attackers are and what weapons they're using, but where does the fight actually happen? Let's talk about the battlegrounds, the digital weak spots that attackers are constantly looking to exploit. More often than not, the front line of defense is your password. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but sometimes that one little string of characters is the only thing standing between an attacker and your entire digital life. So naturally, it's a huge target. This is exactly why you always hear people telling you to create complex passwords. A simple dictionary attack will crack password 123 instantly. A brute force attack will just methodically try every single combination until it breaks a short password. The longer and more random your password is, the harder you make it for these automated tools to win.
Now this one is genuinely scary, a zero-day exploit. This is an attack that happens on the same day a security hole is discovered, which means there's no patch, no fix available yet. The good guys, the software developers, don't even know the hole exists, but the bad guys do, and they are exploiting it. For a time, there is literally no defense.
Sometimes the goal isn't to steal data at all. It's just to cause chaos. That's a denial of service attack.
The whole point is just to shut a service down by overwhelming it. Imagine 1,000 people all trying to rush through a single doorway at once. Nothing gets through. That's a DOS attack in a nutshell.
A DDoS attack takes this to a whole other level. Using that botnet army we mentioned earlier, attackers amplify the assault. Now it's not 1,000 people at one door, it's millions, flooding every possible entry point from all over the world, pretty much guaranteeing a total shutdown.
Okay, so we've looked at the attackers, their mind games, their weapons, and their battlegrounds. But if you trace nearly every successful attack back to its source, you'll find one common, critical vulnerability.
And this is it. At the end of the day, technology alone can never be the complete answer. The human element is the pivot point for almost everything we've talked about. An attacker can have the world's most sophisticated malware, but it's often powerless until someone is tricked into clicking the link or opening the attachment.
So the most important question isn't really about the technology. It's about you. What is your weakest link? Is it a reused password? Your gut instinct to trust a well-crafted email? Recognizing that is your single most powerful defense. Because in this digital world, the strongest firewall is a vigilant, questioning mind. Thanks for watching and stay sharp out there.